Welcome to We're in the Rockies, and today we are going on a tour of Hollywood Studios. What is so cool about this park is they have the newest things with Star Wars Galaxy Edge and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So today we're going to go over the layout of the park, some of the best attractions, and a little bit of history. Hollywood Studios is filled with many different lands. There is Hollywood Boulevard, Echolake, Grand Avenue, Star Wars Galaxy Edge, Toy Story Land, Animation Courtyard, and Sunset Boulevard. The first place you're going to see is Hollywood Boulevard, and as you enter the park, you'll notice multiple stores and restaurants that are similar to Main Street USA, but with a Hollywood spin on them. This is by no mistake. Michael Eisner, the president of Disney at the time, insisted that it have a similar look to it. Michael Eisner's dream for Disney Hollywood Studios, or back then MGM Studios, was for it to be the Hollywood of the East with a working studio and tram tours. It didn't turn out that way, but that was the original vision for Disney Hollywood Studios. Now, as you look ahead, you are going to see a pagoda, Grumman's Chinese Theater, which is a replica of the famous Grumman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood, California that opened in 1927 and has shown many, many famous movie premieres. But what it's most famous for is the cement blocks in front of it in which stars would put their hand and footprints. And when they first built this building, many Hollywood stars came and did that exact same thing for publicity. It lasted a couple of years and was really fun. This Grumman's Chinese Theater used to host the Great Movie Ride up until 2017, but in 2020, Hollywood Studios opened a new ride, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. This is a dark ride that has a trackless system and has all sorts of features in it with animatronics and movies, lots of special effects. This is a really fun ride for anyone in your group, and I feel like this is the future of dark rides for Disney, and it is lots of fun. As you proceed and more into the park, you're going to hit Echolake. Echolake is home to Indiana Jones' Epic Stunt Spectacular. Now, when our family went, it was during COVID, and at this time, I think Hollywood Studios took a harder hit than most of the other parks because so much of Hollywood Studios is its shows, and many of these shows weren't going, including the Indiana Jones show. I'm not going to focus too much on those during this video just because I don't think it'd be very fun to watch a video that I didn't have footage to show you. But know that this is a pretty big attraction of Hollywood Studios. I also do want to tell you, though, that if you do happen to go during COVID, watch our video about Walt Disney World during COVID, but also don't be afraid to go to Hollywood Studios. We filled our day without shows. There was plenty to do in the park. The rides are incredible. Just still go. You'll have a wonderful time. Okay, but moving on. You're going to go to Star Tours, The Adventure Continues, which is a ride. It's a 3D ride. It's about 5 minutes long, and it opened in 1989. If you're not familiar with Star Wars, it has clips from many different of the movies. There's actually 21 segments, and they mix and match those segments for 54 different possible storylines that you could experience going on this ride. One of my favorite parts of going on this ride was the queue. You are on the moon of Endor, and there are just all sorts of cool set pieces you get to walk through. Very, very fun experience. Moving on is another show. It's for the first time in forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration. This is a 30-minute show that actually is still going on during COVID. It mixes live actors with some film clips and with words dubbed in so that you can sing along with the songs. It's a favorite. You know, this is after the movie Frozen came out in 2013 that people have just loved. I'd say except for my sons who do not like Frozen, which is why we didn't go to it. But my parents went and they adored it. They thought it was a great show. The last show that there is in Echolake is the Jedi Training Trials of the Temple. And for 15 minutes, 32 participants ages 4 through 12 get to be Padawan Jedis and learn how to defeat Darth Vader and Kylo Ren. So unfortunately, it wasn't going while we were there, but this is something that kids love. They get to wear the Jedi robes and use a lightsaber. Lots of fun to watch. Great picture opportunity. So if you get a chance to go, you ought to do it. Moving forward, we have Grand Avenue. Now, Grand Avenue is kind of a smaller land. There's mostly just a few restaurants and stores there, but there is a show that is open during COVID, which is Muppet 3D. And this is a 3D and 4D show. It's 25 minutes long. It opened in 1991. And it's full of fun effects. There's cool audio animatronics, but there's also little mix-ins like soap bubbles and smoke, and those Muppets are pretty funny. I don't think about Muppets too often these days because I think Muppets were popular before I was born, but they are funny. When I go to the Muppet 3D, I always chuckle at the silly things those Muppets are doing. Next, you're going to proceed to Toy Story Land. This was built in 2018, so a new addition to the Hollywood studios, and it has 3 rides. The first one you're going to see is Toy Story Mania. This ride is so cool. It's a carnival-style ride. Throughout the course of this ride, you get to shoot frisbees, darts, suction cup bullets at the screen and try to get the highest score in your cart, and it'll display scores of like what people have gotten throughout the day. Just such a fun ride. My family can ride this multiple times just because it's so fun to compete with each other, and it's just cute all the way around. You really do feel like you're at a carnival booth. So much fun. The next one is Slinky Dog Dash. I went to Slinky Dog Dash with low expectations. It was funny as I was looking at itineraries, they were saying to maybe go to this ride first, and I thought, okay, is this like Goofy's Barnstormer? 30 seconds long? What is this? You have to be 38 inches to ride it, so about the size of a 4-year-old. But the premise of the ride is that Andy has gotten a roller coaster set that he's built in his backyard, and he put Slinky Dog on it for the track. And as you wait in line, you are among a bunch of Andy's toys, and you feel like a little G.I. Joe soldier because these toys are gigantic. When you get on the ride, it's just a whole party. The entire roller coaster, fun little ups and downs, cool things to see, fun sound effects. You will love it. Such a great ride, and it's fun for everyone in your group. Grandma made us ride this roller coaster multiple times. The last one you're going to see is probably the least exciting ride in Toy Story Land, but that is the Alien Swirling Saucers. And if you've been to California Adventure, it's a lot like Mater's Junkyard, but it's just kind of a spinny ride. And the theme of it is it's the claw and the aliens. But it's pretty fun. It's just, I like it when you get to go on these rides that like even the small kids can enjoy. But Toy Story Land is just so visually appealing. The colors are bright. There's neat things to look at in there. Like, you will absolutely love Toy Story Land. Star Wars Galaxy Edge was built in 2019, and it's not really set along any sort of timeline in the Star Wars trilogy. It's just Star Wars and not a certain land that's in any of the movies. But oh my goodness, talk about an immersive experience. Even if there wasn't some awesome attractions there, which there are, it would be cool just to walk around. You really do feel like you have gone to a different planet when you walk in there. There's not a thing in there that reminds you of Earth. You feel like you are on a completely different planet, and it is so neat. You could build a droid or a lightsaber. You can eat out of this world dishes at Olga's Cafe, or you can go on a couple of the rides. The first one I want to talk to you about is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Even though this ride is only 4.5 minutes long, it feels longer than that because of as you go through the line and then just the instructions they give you as you prepare to fly the Millennium Falcon. And when you get on the Millennium Falcon, you're going to be on a crew of 6 people, and you could be a pilot, a gunner, or an engineer, and you have a special mission to complete. And there have been some complaints. This is a simulator type ride where you do have a little bit of control because you have your roles. But this is a fun ride. I don't know where the complaints are coming from. This is very, very fun. But there are people that take this ride pretty seriously. And so if you, during COVID, you're just with your party, but if you're there during non-COVID times, there might be some high expectations of you to fulfill your role well. All right, the next one is Rise of the Resistance, which is an 18-minute long ride. The demand for this ride is so high that they actually have boarding groups. So you have to get on and reserve a boarding group the day of. And it's challenging to get a boarding group. Even when Hollywood Studios was functioning at 35% capacity during COVID, we still could not get a pass. And so I'll put a link to someone else's footage of Rise of the Resistance so you're not missing out because I didn't get to go on it. But that's okay because now I have some motivation to go to the California Galaxy's Edge as soon as I can so I can go on this ride. Next, you're going to head into the Animation Courtyard. Animation Courtyard is another land that has a lot of shows in it that weren't open while we were there. There's Voyage of the Little Mermaid, which is a live performance. It has all sorts of cool puppets and lasers and movies, actors, all sorts of things like that. There's the Disney Junior Dance Party where your younger ones will see a lot of the characters they see on Disney Junior programs. And then there was also the Star Wars Launch Bay, which has a lot of meet and greets with the characters. Characters are still around at Hollywood Studios during COVID, but they're not as much. That's kind of just a surprise showing of characters, so you aren't guaranteed to see anyone that you really want to see. They're not on a schedule. The one thing that is open in Animation Courtyard is Walt Disney Presents, which is It's a little show and a museum-like walkthrough, but you'll see sketches and artifacts, costumes, and even some models of movies that you know and love. And you get to learn more about Walt Disney. The more I learn about Walt Disney, the more fascinated I am with that man. And it's so cool to see how innovative he was with trying to create the best movies and experiences for his guests. And so I highly recommend that. It might not be the flashiest attraction, but you'll be glad you went. We're going to wrap up our day at Sunset Boulevard, which is another famous Hollywood street. And the first attraction you're going to see there is the Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. This was built in 1999. This roller coaster is only 75 seconds long, but don't let that deter you from going on it. There is a lot packed into this roller coaster. The whole premise of the ride is that you meet Aerosmith and they want to take care of their fans, but they have a concert they have to get to across town. So they ask their manager to send you, their fans, on a stretch limo to get them across town to go to their concert for free. And so you'll board a stretch limo and that limo takes off. It goes from 0 to 56 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds. So you just blast off. All while doing this, you're going to hear one of 9 Aerosmith songs. This is a dark ride, and it makes it feel like you're going even faster. And on top of that, you go upside down 3 times. It was quite a surprise. I was not ready for that, but oh, what a treat. What a fun ride. Right next to the Rock and Roller Coaster is the Lightning McQueen Racing Academy. This is a fun show for any little boy or girl that loves cars, as my family does. It's just 10 minutes long, but you're going to see your favorite Cars characters in animatronic form. So much fun. So definitely go check that out if that's something your family loves. Your last ride at Hollywood Studios is going to be the Twilight Tower of Terror. It was built in 1994 and it was themed after the Twilight Zone show, which was popular between 1959 and 1964. You're going into an abandoned hotel, and this is a drop ride where you're actually going to drop 131 feet at one point. It kind of goes up and down pretty quickly, and it's fun. But right before you do that big drop, a window's going to open, and you're going to look out over all of Hollywood Studios and see the park before you drop. It's pretty fun, pretty exciting. You have to be 40 inches tall to go on it, but a fun ride. Now that you've completed your tour of Hollywood Studios, I would love to hear what you're the most excited to go do at the park. Please leave it in the comments below. Do you like Slinky Dog Dash and the Rock and Roller Coaster as much as I do? I can't wait to find out. Thanks for watching.